No, we ain't got a lot to do. The cup of tea's nearly ready. Drag a cone over me head and we'll get on it. I'll see you in a minute. Bosh. There you go. I mean, if that isn't an immediate screw up, I don't know what is. Like straight away, an immediate bodge. But it's reassuring, isn't it? It's reassuring. I mean, well, I think it is because, well, I have to think it is because otherwise it's just a catastrophe. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Hello, people. Well, I'll tell you what. It's 3:30 in the morning here, and I'll tell you what. I had it all planned out. I had a load of work to do, and I thought I've been stressing out lately, prioritising the stream over the work. I had to get it all chilled out a little bit, and then I hang on a minute, and then I thought I've got to just all I've got to do is do what the GP said and get this calendar done, and so that I can have a visual representation of what I'm doing, what I should be doing, and it will just improve my ability to manage my life. And of course, because that's what he does for a living, he's an expert at it, and it's already working. So what I've done today was thought, right, I had the missus here this morning, so we had a lovely time, and we had a really lovely time. And those Sunday mornings in bed with your missus, especially when you got your 300-mile bed. That's my new song, by the way, 300-mile bed. It goes like this. Not 200, not 100, 300-mile bed. And sort of develops from there. Can you hear the cats fucking? And we know what that means, don't we? We know it means one of them's having a good time and the other one is being kept in place by spines. What did we call them on false tangers, tongers, buffalo soldiers. Yeah, well, they said that about a lot of songs. Didn't they say that about a lot of songs? And they were right about most of them. There are some strange noises around here at night, usually me, but there you go. Now, I already mentioned it. Did anyone watch Keith Wood's latest video? It's got to be watched. It's got to be watched. Got to be watched. And I told you about my clear pill thing that came through. Well, he's written to me again. He's written to me about language. He's written to me about right-wing scholars reading Foucault, reading the archaeology and knowledge. I'm telling you, man, there's some very strange things happening, and the Pygmalion effect. The Pygmalion effect. It's like a more advanced version. I don't really want to get into this until he says, the geezer Anonymous says, don't let too much of this out until I've produced the whole document. But the Pygmalion effect is like a slightly more advanced. I'll get the old Twitch going. Is a slightly more advanced version of a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it works the other way around. It's like imagine you're a boxer. Imagine you're gonna fight, right? You got a big fight coming up, but you keep hearing from the new TV news, sports pundits, that you don't stand a chance because so and so's over the top right. Will always work against your little uppercut left hook routine, and you hear about that and you start thinking, oh, I don't know about that, and then you catch your own trainer's notes, and it says what the over the top right against the uppercut left hook routine, and if you hadn't have had any of this information, you wouldn't have had any part to play in it happening. Because why would you? You'd have just carried on doing your boxing. But now you're aware of it. And that's where it kind of joins in with the self-fulfilling prophecy, in as much that you start to believe it. And that's the clear pill again, And there is the sort of linguistic, the sort of signified, the meaning of the clear pill. The white pills, the black pills, the red pills, they're all just, the idea is that you eat them and you've sort of consumed the red pill, and once from Alice in Wonderland, made possibly more famous by the Matrix, which is it going to be, the red pill or the blue pill? And but the thing about the clear pill, you don't eat it, you see through it. You don't need to make a decision. You don't need to look into. You don't need to make a decision on whether you're going to go take this strategy or whether you're going to take this strategy. You've seen through it and you realize the strategy is a self-fulfilling process. And these are the things we were talking about briefly not last night. I think it was Friday. Me and Gavin Bobby. The clear pill is the one. It's the one where the economic breaks down, the welfare state breaks down, culture breaks down. All cultures fail to be exclusive. The country will not tolerate only the indigenous people having an inclusive culture. So everyone will have to join in with everyone, and that will just it will have the job on everyone that it's had the job on us. It will just make us feel valueless. It will make us feel landless. It will make us feel like we don't have a people. And it's incredible, really. I'm really excited by this. And then at the bottom of this thing, the bloke said, I'll have you this full document in a couple of weeks, and it's up to you if you put it out. But he said, I have nicked the clear pill from you. I was going to call it something like the window, the what was it? The future window. Yeah, probably Dutch. But he said the clear pill's brilliant because it relates to the whole pill sort of history of the right. But it's really, there's so many things falling into place with it that I have not been so more optimistic about the demographic issues that we have with Europe, not just for the British, by the way, but for all the other people who've been lumbered here without their families, and they've got no culture, they've got no families, they've got no nothing either. They've just got, what do you call it? Intertribal fighting most nights, and between the children, and the parents are seeing the children becoming very westernized, which is the last thing they want. They didn't think that would happen. They thought they'd be able to keep a grasp on that. I've got another Muslim friend who told me about that and just said, yeah, that is like their worst fear. Because it's going to turn the next generation, since literally one generation of Muslims into a generation of Western people. And so the clear pill is really quite something. And I got really I got quite aggressive last year, and I got quite sort of combative about the whole getting the Dalai Lama comment, really, that Europe should be for the Europeans, and it should, as much as Asia should be for the Asians, and as much as Africa should be for the Africans. But nothing has sort of sparked my enthusiasm and my confidence that we see a largely what's the word, violentless. Can anyone beat me on violentless? Transition back to a demographic situation, Middle East, Europe, that we had just 20, 30 years ago. And I'm very serious about that. It's really picked me. There you go, peaceful. That would be as simple as that. A really peaceful return to how things were, because now there's very little to gain you know, you're just gonna reap more more that was sowed in your name 10, 20 years ago. Look at Rotherham, Oxford, Bradford, etc. That was sowed by the British media, the social services, and the police. And it will be the people that those communities that will be reaping what was sown by those British institutions. And they'll be thinking, I don't know about this place anymore. Right, okay. I think I got a super chat, and then I'll do the old entropy grift, and then we're ready to go. But this isn't going to be a heavy one. This is going to be a very, very laid back. I haven't got long. I want to get some kip tonight. I'll probably go to bed about 4:30, so we've got about 45 minutes. That's all right. Everyone asks Moslab what he's got in his arsenal. I'm telling you, Ted, you're better off asking him what he hasn't got. Right, where is that? Hello, Alan. Alan, hello, my friend. Hello to you, Alan. Always a pleasure. I hope you're doing all right. I hope you're looking at those gutter snipes at work, keeping them under your thumb. Sometimes it's what it needs. I mean, joking aside, sometimes it does what it needs. You know, there are workers and there are bosses. It's very strange. I'm quite interested in what Hello, Elliot. How are you, man? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Was the hair tutorial like? Ted, I haven't heard anything. The lead ban is pending. What? Was the hair tutorial to your liking? The hair tutorial. You know, 50% of what's said I forget because I don't care about it. And the other 50% I forget because I don't care about it. So, you know, the chances of me remembering the hair tutorial, I mean, if you want to remind me, and it might be one of those ones where I go, oh, fucking hell. Look at the boy Alan. Look at the boy Alan over there on Twitch. I wonder if our boy Rags is over. Look at him, Rags is over there. Let's get over there and get him just chatting. Feels wrong to have Rags on podcasts and talk shows. He's not a podcast or a talk show. He's Rags. He's just chatting. Quite simple. I can run a 1 minute ad break on Twitch. Should I do it and we can watch it? I might do it and we'll watch it. Let's see how much fun that'll be. It's only a minute. Right, just chatting. Right, we're just chatting, streaming info updated. Right, now what have I got to do to make this work? Okay, alright, thanks for that. Okay, now go there. Now go to channel. Right, what I've got to do is go Twitch. Twitch Chris Dangerfield. This will be interesting. It'll probably crash my computer. It won't be able to handle this sort of thing, I'm sure. Yeah, I thought I thought that Moslab made a load of his. Now I know that isn't something you can do in the UK. Well, you probably could if you could get hold of the kit, but I'm sure Moslab has got a little room down in his basement where he sits there grinding things and drilling things and filling them up and putting them on and weighing them out. I'd love to live in America and have an arsenal, have a selection of weapons. I'd have a lovely selection. I really would. I really would. I spoke to a bloke in a bar in Thailand once. Done like 30 years in the British not secret service. That's a fantasy, isn't it? In the British, what do you call them? Special forces. And I was like, shit, man! I bet that was amazing, wasn't it? And he said I shot my weapon in private work. He said far more consistently and frequently than I did working for the government. He said it was, every couple of weeks I'll be letting rounds off in cars and junctions and things. Now Andrew is saying Tim the pilot video. No, I'm gonna get Tim on. Are you suggesting that Tim is he's got a video that we can watch a couple of minutes of? Let's have a look at I think we should have a little look at a 1 minute advert on Twitch. Could be interesting. Let's see if we can pull it off. Well, let's get this grift going. Right. I'm up at 3:50 in the morning. Help us out, people. All right, there. You can do a super chat, which is the $sign just there, just at the bottom of the YouTube chat. Alternatively, preferably, you can use entropy, entrep, and entropy is also, the link is also in the they really are hence the cup of tea. They really are in the link to in the description. So if you want to use entropy, they're there. Rags is trying to sell me off some old Amway I don't know, washing powder, who knows. I have actually got a washing powder question. That's the way things go around here. So remind me about that, Rags, and we'll get back to that later. Right, here we go. No, I am absolutely spaced out. I am fucked. I am absolutely fucked. There's the entropy link, which is also in the description there. That's what I wanted to get through. Rufus says this stream is making me more tired than I already am. Me too. Me too. Right, okay. Now, what did I want to show you? Let's see if we can watch ourselves watching a video on Twitch. Could be very interesting. I wonder how you do it. Let's see how you do it. It wouldn't appear to be as easy as I had initially thought, which is an absolute bloody disaster. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. They don't. They don't seem to be. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right. So, check this out, people. This could be interesting. We're going to share the screen. We're going to go over there. We're going to go there. We're going to go there. We're going to go there. We're going to run 1 minute ad break. Go there. And you tell me how it goes. It would appear not to be working, wouldn't it? Oh, maybe it's going to just come on in a bit. Maybe while we're just doing our bit. It looks like it's causing problems with me, though. Looks like I'm being a bit jittery and juddery. Says here 27 minutes, 25, not minutes, seconds. But it looks like we're going to get a Twitch advert, people. But I think it might loop itself. Here we go. 8, 7, 7, 6, 5, 4. Get excited. 3. If you can't fake it. Completed 1 minute ad break. Well, there you go. I hope you all enjoyed that. I will go back to the normal channel. Right, hang on then. Right, this other one. Yeah, no, I said I was gonna get him on. He's a great bloke. But I was ploughing through nearly 500 emails, and then now I've got another 150 emails. People telling me, "Oh, I never thought this Scrubs thing would be a good idea, having it on Telegram." I'm like, I did warn you. I don't want anything to do with it, please, please. But let's have a little look at Tim the pilot and see what he's got to say. I mean, he's quite an interesting. Well, he's a very interesting bloke. He doesn't give it the big one, you know. He's quite happy to admit that the kind of damage that working in those kinds of environments has done to him. Let's have a look. Is his channel Fast Jet Performance? No, yeah, that's his Tim Jet. Right, videos. So his first video. Oh, it's an hour and 24 minutes. What are you talking about, AW? I am going to get him on, but we're not going to watch all of that. We're not going to be watching all of that now. Good Lord, this is an ultra live laid back session, but crikey. An hour and 40 minutes of watching Tim. Good Lord. As you see, my vape has broken again. Well, Alan, this is what I thought I would do it. This is why I'm doing these sort of peculiar, strangely timed ones. It is like sort of catching up with a couple of old mates and just, you know, a lot of us are atomized, a lot of us are living on our own, and it is nice to catch up and just say hello. So nice to see you all there, Alan, on Twitch. Alan's over there with Rags. Was the SLR awesome? The SLR was the one that they took to the Falklands. I heard. I mean, I was only 10 years old, 10 to 12. I heard that they thought the SLR was a piece of shit. Was it a well considered weapon? I don't know. Adam Ant says you've aged 10 years in a month. Well, they say as you get older that you get older quicker, that it's exponential. And so, you know, maybe I can reverse it and lose a year in a month as well and be back to normal. I've had it coming at me from all sides. You know what you're meant to do. Sometimes life is hard. And you have to accept it. You have to face it like a man. You have to stand up. You don't blame anyone. I fucked up. I fucked up on a couple of things. And now I'm paying the price. The problem is when it gets to 3:15 on a Sunday night, which is really a Monday morning for me, and I've done a really good day's work today. I've done a really good day's work. I put a lot of work in. I put a lot of work into the new Scrubs t-shirt, which is the one with all the really cool covers, the really cool thumbnails, the one with all the faces like Tim Davis and all that lot. So that should be quite cool. I'm not going to give any. There'll be no little shows of that until it's finished. But I think it's going to be rather good. So they liked the SLR, did they? But it's like the American M16. I mean, let's be honest. It's got nothing. It's got nothing on the Kalashnikov. The AK-47, the Andrei Kalashnikov 47. You know what do they say about it? You can bury it in a swamp. You can bury it in sand. You can leave it in a swamp for 5 years. Pull it out of the water, pull the trigger, and it'll empty the mag. They did put someone in the moon. They did put someone in space first as well. You can't. Well, you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful. Where is that one? Hang on. You got to be careful watching the telly because soon you're jamming, and then you're just complaining about talking. And if you're complaining about talking about things, YouTube's not the place for you because you're talking about things. So, you know, there's a little bit of a personal inventory to be had there, I think, really. Perhaps not. Oh, there's a donation from it's old the boy from Queens. Great day, caught you live. You caught me live a couple of times, Ed. Hasn't been bad, has it? It's been a good day for me as well. I got some work done on the novel. I found out that Apple shop in Cambodia was a snide. What a surprise! The official reseller. What? Official reseller? I've never heard of that. The official reseller in Phnom Penh. Why is it just not called Apple.com? Why is it called I1? And I rung them up and I said, all right there. I said, are you open? And she said, yeah. And I said, oh, great. I said, what models have you got? She said, we have model 12 Pro Max, which is the cutting edge, you know, top of the range one. And I just thought, I don't need that. I don't need anywhere near that. It just seemed a little bit like, why would you only have the best one? Because is that because you can con the most money out of the people in a country where they've got only one Apple shop? So I just went, yeah, I think I'll be buying that from sunny England. They put a man in the moon. So from now on, people, when you see it say ultra laid back stream, it really will be. You know, this isn't in any way a joke. This is it. It's just shooting the shit, really. But I can't pretend there aren't some cool things coming on. I mean, the clear pill stuff is I mean, you know, when people say, how are you going to expect 3 million people to pack up their homes, all their stuff and their children and go all the way back to their homes in the Middle East? And you go, well, they already done it to come here with no help. So from a little bit of help from our government and a little bit of help from a few charity boxes, it shouldn't be too difficult. It shouldn't be too difficult at all. In fact, will be blatantly easier. But I don't know. I don't know how their brains operate, these people. Can't believe the vape's gone. I'm going to give it a few more. Oh. If this goes viral when my face explodes, can you make sure my missus gets some of the money, please? Because I had a little flicker and a flash. Oh my God. ladies and gentlemen of the addiction sphere. I better put some juice in it. I hope you're as celebrating as I am. First sip of tea. Anyone want to join me? 4. You got your cups of tea? 4, 3, 2, 1. Just wonderful. Just tea. I wouldn't usually have a tea this late, but I know that I'm shafted. And I know that the minute this stream is over, I will walk out into my bedroom in my homosensible Kramer 2-part skirt and hat. I'll take my glasses off because leaving my glasses off last time gave me that. You can see it. Lovely. It weren't actually these ones. I think it was me Cazals. Let's go. Yeah, vaping's great. So can I ask the weapon men, and I know that I might be asking I might be comparing oranges with apples. But within the military, within the global sort of Western, what we could perhaps call NATO. Remember that? Oh, it's coming back. What was considered the better gun? Ready? That British SLR that they had over in the Falklands, the Kalashnikov, the AK-47, the Andrei Kalashnikov, 1947, or the American M16, which was touted as the best bit of hardware, personal hardware ever, and was just considered a bit showy, really. So, military people, can you tell me, please, SLR, AK-47, or M16? Moslab is what is that? Is it the AK-75? Is that a later one? Please stop telling me to go to sleep. I won't be getting up till 3 o'clock. So look, it's 3 o'clock now. I in theory I can sleep 11 hours. I don't want to sleep 11 hours. It drives me nuts. It sends me crazy. And it's nice to hang around with some friends. We've had a lot of shit in the House of Scrubs recently. I appreciate you looking out for me, but believe me, I've stayed up for 12, 13 days before. I can do a late night. I'll be all right, but I appreciate you on. Okay, so there was an AK-47 that was revamped in 75, and out of all the guns I just mentioned, that's the winner, is it? What about the my favourite weapon, being a man who's never fired an automatic weapon. Oh, I did let go of a couple of Uzis at Thailand once. I like that. I like the German-made Heckler and Koch. Is that a good gun, lads? No, Keys to the Kingdom. That I won't be doing. I will not be doing that. Drogar rather rudely says, fucking sober up. I'm on less drugs than I've been on since I've been about 16. It's a good call, Alan. It's a good call. It's a very good call. Hang on a minute. What's this a minute? John Enoch Powell. My neighbours are getting it. We started a business. Now they're making a passive-ish income. The first step is the hardest to take. But also, John, it's also the easiest step to take. Because what can go wrong? The worst thing that can happen is you can end up where you started. Now I know what you're saying, because we're in a culture which is laden with perfectionism. Right, we're going to do this and it's going to go right. We're going to do this and it's going to go right. We're going to do this and it's going to be perfect. And then this is going to be perfect, and this is... And actually, business, like life, doesn't happen like that. So once we get back to acceptance, once we can accept that our businesses are gonna have problems, we can then take that first step. So the first step, the hardest step, is acceptance. I'm gonna fuck up here. I just fucked up. I've been at it 20 years and I just fucked up for 2 years, 2 weeks, which is why I've been absolutely screwed for the last 2 weeks. But the first step is accepting that you're going to have problems, you're going to make mistakes, but that's all right. Find me someone who doesn't. Alan is correct when he says some of the best shit comes from shooting the shit. So many interpretations on that one. Steady, Dax, steady. I can see it though, Dax, you bastard. I can see it, Dax. There he is. Very gaunt little face. Little hand there. Oh, that's just great, that is. If that starts moving, if it starts getting closer to me, no. Thanks, Dax. You owe me. That's awful. Adamant quite likes that. Look, what, the man in the mirror or the Adamant? I met Adamant once. I've done a gig for him at Sadie Frost's house, and he had one of those hats on that had fake hair coming out of it. Oh, come on, Adam. Let it go. Let it go. And while I say let it go, I am still wondering. The scary thing about the man in the mirror is it looks like an automaton, which is weirdly more frightening than an actual human. You know, if I was to turn around and walk over there in a minute and it go, "You little shit, I'm coming for you," or one of those other sort of horror movie lines. But the fact that it looks more like it will go turn his head and go, do you know the time? I am a clock. That's what's going to keep me up at night. Well spotted though, Dax. You horrible bastard. No, that's not true, Moody Edge. You can't be a nationalist. You can't be a nationalist on the one hand and then suggest that another countryman thinks his country is a shithole. What you think Leeds is nice. You think those rows of red houses that go up in 3 rooms where they have their underwear hanging over the front and it's freezing cold 6 months of the year. It's all right for us. We grew up in that. We like that. It appeals to us. We like autumn. We like winter. We like spring. We like our 3 days of summer. But these people grew up in hot weather. It's like when I talk to my missus about England and I say one day we might be able to live in England if this whole turnaround happens, and she's like, no. She says, I want it hot every day. And they've also got their culture there. You know, that's what nationalism's about. They've got their extended family, and they are big families. Let's look at the Middle East. They've got they've got aunties and uncles and nieces and nephews and grandfathers and grandmothers and loads of them, all of them, loads of children, and they have not Christmas, but they celebrate religious festivals where sort of 50, 60 people come around and they wear clothes and make special foods that they've been doing for centuries. And they don't get that all here. They miss all that here. They sacrificed all of that for a few quid and some dental health care, and they were promised that this was going to go on for years, and that they could breed and breed and breed and get more houses, which they will be able to. But slowly, as the welfare state collapses, and then they go to their doctor and say, "Oh, my daughter, she doesn't stop coughing. She's up all night coughing, and blood comes out." And then they say, "Here's a phone number," and they're like, "Sorry?" And they go, "Yeah, ring this phone number. It's the NHS hotline. You tell them your symptoms, and they'll help you out." And they're like, "What? This is more third world than where I come from." And then you ring it up and it goes, "Hello, this is the NHS hotline. Tell me, what symptoms has your daughter got?" And old Ahmed is like, "Well, she's sweating, terribly sweating, and lots of sweating." And then "I'm sorry, I don't understand lots of sweating. Could you please say that clearer? It's my daughter. She's 6 years old. Her name is Urasa. The problem is she's got a lot of sweating." "I don't understand got a lot of sweating. Can you say it in a different way?" And it goes on and on. And then after an hour on the phone that he pays for out of his welfare check, it says, "Since this system didn't seem to work, make an appointment. It's April the 2nd now, but don't worry, we've got one available in November the 2nd. And they're like, "Are you fucking joking me?" And this is the clear pill. This is the reality of the breakdown. This is what you do when you stuff millions of people into a landmass. You have an NHS that is paid for by the indigenous people of that island, and yet anyone can use it. You don't have to be a maths genius, do you? You really don't have to be a maths genius. It doesn't work. Does not work. And then housing. And the thing about housing, it's not just housing for people to live. You've got to commit loads of land to grow food so that these people can eat. Well, we can just import it from abroad. No, because they're having the same problems, because population growth is happening all over the world. So no one wants to be sending their food abroad. And the price of it's going up as well because because it's having to be sent around the world. And then old Ahmed says to his missus, you know, I think we'd be better off at home. We'd be better off. We'll have our 4 sons with us. We'll have our 6 daughters with us. We'll have our nephews and nieces. We'll have our grandparents, our aunties and uncles. We can go to the big stone mosque 4 times a day. That's not some knockoff job in North London. It's all very interesting. I mean, I think it's very interesting that you've got Semiagog, if I've got him right, and I think I have, and I apologise that we didn't get on to semiotics and grammatology the other week, but what he was saying when he was talking about semiotics, and we've got Gavin Bobby. I don't know if any of you looked at some of his more recent videos. And then we've got this geezer sending me this clear pill stuff after watching me talking about the clear pill with Gavin. There's a few different people coming together saying, yeah, this is what I've been thinking. Well, look, hang on a minute. Hang on. Right, hang on. Look, hang on. Right, Manny Moo, you've got some bottle because you've come on here before. I look. It is only a nice idea. It is only an idea. Do you want to explain to me why it's not got legs? I mean, you can do it just in text if you want, or you can plug your audio. You don't have to show your face. You can, if you don't want to, you can plug your audio in and tell me why it's not going to happen. Same with you, Moody Edge. If you want to come in and you can say with your capital letters, they are not going home anytime soon. Why would you put not in capital letters? I would have thought going was the operative word. But I'll put the invite into the chat. And if Manny Moo or Moody Edge would like to come in, you can come in audio, visual, or just audio. And I'd be very interested, and I mean that. I'm not taking the piss. I'd be very interested. There, Manny Moo coming. I've just put it in the chat. I'd be very interested why you don't think so. And don't get me wrong, I haven't got this. This isn't something I've got fully, a fully I can't even think what the fucking word is. It's not a fully cohesive idea that I've patched up all the holes and understand the contradictions, but I would like to know why you think it's not going to happen. Well, that will be part of the economy falling apart, which it already is, Moslab. It already is. You know, indigenous people can't even get NHS healthcare anymore. You can't get your teeth looked at. You have to pay. Weren't like that 10 years ago. There you go, mouse cat. Trust the clear pill. Moody Edge says, I'd like to be optimistic about the situation like you, but I don't see much evidence that this is what is going to happen. So your entire argument to saying they're not going home is the UK is far too cushy for them. And my entire argument to combat that is to say that's changing. It will not be too cushy for them. It's already getting worse, and it is going to get worse and worse and worse. So what you're saying is you don't think that the economic situations in countries can change, or you're saying the economic situation in this country can change. Bearing in mind, even if we are outnumbered by 2066 or 2040, even 2050, we'll still be the supermajority of about 50% of the people, and there'll be small tribes fighting among themselves. And historically, any situation where you've had a big group and loads of little groups fight each other. They don't try and take on the big one. They rarely have the balls to create an army to take on the big one, because they see it as their fastest way out. It's changing. Just a clear pill. And by the way, when you say you'd like to be optimistic about a situation like me, I'm not optimistic. I choose to be optimistic because optimism has been proven psychologically to actually affect the outcome of things. You know, that's why sports psychologists are used with all top sportsmen and women, because if you don't think you can win, you usually can't. And pessimism, you know, that's why they've demoralized us. That's why they've demoralized us, so that we're not hopeful, so that we're not optimistic. But the clear pill changes all that. What once their 70, 80-year-old mothers and grandmothers have got to go out onto the street and start laying tarmac like they are in Cambodia. Otherwise, they don't eat. Are they really going to hang around for that? Or are they going to go back to their ancestral homelands that everyone loves and adores, and what all this is fighting about? Yeah, but Coolio, I mean, what kind? That's not an argument. You've got to do better than that. You've just said you're wrong. You've got to tell me why. Why won't they just pack up and go? They packed up and left their own nations by the millions. Human diasporas have done this throughout history. They've literally chucked a load of things they've got into an handbag and just started walking. So why is that living on a prayer? It certainly does, Alan. Albert Ross says, what percentage would white Brits need to fall to before you'd start to think there was no chance of a reversal? Well, I think it would depend on the size of the groups that are remaining. I mean, if there was 30 groups remaining, but they were sort of like 1 million, 500,000, 2 million, 1 million, and we were still 34, 35,000, I'd have plenty of hope. I'd have plenty of hope. Don't forget, it's like what Kai Maros says. We haven't got the luxury, and it is a luxury of like the Americans and the Australians of white flight. They can go, they can move, they can go elsewhere. You know, some of us can. I did, but it's an anomaly because most people want to be around people like them. That's what this is all about. Most people want to be around cultures that talk like them, look like them, sound like them, do things like them, have histories, share histories with them, and etc. etc. I think a lot of these people will go home. We've had it as part of the propaganda. If you think about it, there's been no talk of reversal in the mainstream media. These people are here to stay. That's it. They're here to stay. That's it. You know, look at the comments such as this. What is it? Terrorism is just part of living in a European city now. Well, not if they've all gone back home. It isn't. You never hear talk about these people going home. You hear talk about more coming. There's massive campaigns. There's massive government-sponsored campaigns in Africa trying to get people to move out of Europe back to Africa. Huge campaigns. Look into them. It's quite interesting. There's old Carlson. Hello, Carlson Coy. Bit late. I was with my girl. How are you? Well, I'm with her now, so I'm having a great time. And they are not working, and the jobs will disappear, and there won't be jobs. And again, okay, and so there won't be jobs. Well, Chris Dangerfield, you keep saying about generating wealth. You try generating wealth with people who ain't your own people. You try and set up a tailor shop to make suits that and you've got 40, 50 million people who are part of that culture, and they know it as their own traditional style. Are you gonna have a couple of Bengalis knocking up stuff with imported cloth from Bengali that falls apart in the rain, selling it to who? What, English people? It's not going to happen. Why would it be when they can buy it from English people who they can communicate with better? Not because they're racist, not because they're more intelligent, but because they are historically more alike, and they understand what they want from these things. There you go. The thing is, though, Albert, and I've said this before, that these are the kind of figures that they like to use to show us that there's no reversal. I mean, look at that. 2020, 21, 30% of British living in London. I mean, I wonder if in that document it says what London is, what inner London, Greater London, and I wonder what age groups it is. Is it newborn babies up to people on their deathbeds? Because it's usually not, because they've usually got an agenda. It's usually something like people of working age or whatever. But let's just put that aside for one moment. So that's London. And then you've got Birmingham, which looks pretty bad as well. But this distribution of visitors isn't spread across the nation, isn't spread across the United Kingdom in a like a nice. We got a few here, because they don't want that either, because they want to be around their own type as well. They want more. They want more opportunity for crime. They want to be in communities made up of people who talk like them, like Africans, Middle Easterns, Indians, Bangladeshis. So when that money starts running out, when there's no when there's no welfare state, there's no NHS, there's no getting your teeth done for free, there's no getting your kids' legs looked at, there's no getting free medicine, etc., etc. What's the point of being here? You know, they don't. Let's look at Islam for a minute. I mean, they're not all Islamic, by the way, and I also think Islam is not really the big problem here. But let's just look at Islam. You know, I've read a fair amount of the Quran, and I've only stopped because it's almost unreadable. It's a peculiar book, much like the Old Testament is a peculiar book. I'm not suggesting anything other than their religious texts are barking mad. No, are very hard to read and to interpret intentionally, so that people whose jobs it is to interpret them can interpret them in the context of the conversation being had in their favor. Oh, excuse me. But these people, they all cluster together in ghettos. That's what's happened. They're trying to spread them out, but it isn't happening. It's not happening in Sweden. It's not happening in France. It's not happening in Germany. It's not happening in England. You know, it's just not happening. They want to go. They're like all the rest of humans. They're tribal. They clump together in communities. Communities that it makes them stronger to be in a community. And so those numbers, 30% of white British living in London leaves 70% of what though? 70% of Muslims, or 70% of this bracket, 15% of Hindus, 20% of just atheist wanderers. You might have a load of gypsies that have just moved, that are just on the move. You know, they're not that powerful against 30% of a cohesive unit who own that land. Like I said, Kaimaros, the Americans have got the luxury of white flight. They can move. They can move as far away from those very violent ghettos as they want. But the English haven't. You know, you got Brighton, you've got Birmingham, and you've got London already looking at those kinds of numbers. 30% English, white British left living in London, 30%. Birmingham won't be far off that. And so where are you going to go? Where are you going to go, north or south? Because that's going to slowly start changing. And an animal is its most risky, it's most dangerous when it's trapped in a corner. And when those white communities, those British communities, are sitting in those corners thinking, well, hang on a minute, you know, something needs to be done about this, or we're losing this, or we're going to lose this. And the opposition will see that as well. The opposition will think we've got numbers, multipliers of our own numbers trapped in corners. We've got no money, they've got no money, there's no free money. But because they've got bigger numbers and bigger communities, they can generate wealth. We can't. We've got different tribes fighting each other like they have been since they've arrived. That's just historical fact. So do you want to hang around with your 9 kids, age like 4 through to 14? You want to go to that state school where they've got trans trans bedtime reading or whatever it is? Is that what they want their teachers to teach them? Do they want to see Malcolm is Amazing on the television? Do they want to see the trans Muslims on the television? Is this the situation they thought? Or have they been sold a bait and switch? Were they told that, look at England, England's beautiful. What a country. What a place of potential. Look how gorgeous it is. Look how lovely the people are. We can get over there. They give you money. They give you houses. They give you free healthcare. It's nothing like what we've got here. Let's get over there. And they came over in the millions and millions and millions. And then the switch happened. They fell for the bait and the switch happened. It's a completely different place now. And they're working out how and when they're going to get out. See you later, Moslab. Moody Edge says, it's not all about free money. And then goes on to explain that it's all about free money, with his final line saying they claim free money and raking cash from crime. Well, you can't have it both ways, I'm afraid. What you're missing, Moody Edge, is that for years propaganda has been telling people what's going on, and propaganda is a lie. And now we've got the internet, which gets so many more views than the mainstream media, and people are seeing this. And race card loopholes and experts and the establishments, it's all over. People know what's going on, and they won't tolerate it, and they'll have the numbers not to tolerate it, whereas the opposition won't. And you know what I thought you were going to say, which was going to be, I was going to be quite surprised, was it's not all about free money. It runs a lot deeper. Yeah, it does. It runs a lot deeper into culture and land and history and ancestral homelands. And are they really going to want to carry on living in Bradford? Because when they're living in Bradford and people are starting to see through the clear pill, and they're starting to see things like what you're talking about, race card loopholes. How comes they're getting free money because of their ethnicity, and the white shops over there aren't because of their ethnicity? Well, the white people start shopping only at the white people's shops because they realise it's unfair. But in the enriched zones, they're not all of the same type, so it doesn't work the same. They can't do that. All the Bangladeshis might shop at all the other Bangladeshi shops, but they're pitiful numbers of a couple of million. All the Hindus might shop at the Hindu shops, but they're pitiful numbers. Whereas you're looking at 40, 50 million white British, doing it deliberately because they've seen what Biden's doing already. Biden's already said we're going to help the black businesses, we're going to help the Hispanic businesses. Well, that's very, very nice of you. Why do they need it? Are they not as good at business as everyone else? Anyway, look at that time. Jesus, is it 5 o'clock? It really isn't. It really isn't. Not when you're from that area. It really isn't. They can't stand it. There's some very interesting research on all that. More people saying things without backing them up at all. Look, I do like a conversation, but I've really got to have more than you're wrong. Packer, gotta go. Nice one, Chris. See you later, Scrubs. Yeah, I've got to go too. I've just looked at the bloody time. I'm looking at getting to bed. Oh my God, maybe 6. Up at 6 hours. Good Lord, I expected a bit more than that. Screwed that up a bit, and I made a right mess of that. Well, it has been lovely, people. Thank you, everyone who donated. I think Hack61 dropped a cockle. And he said, I'm in Devon in the middle of nowhere. But no, it's only a matter of time before the immigrant gets here. As of now, there is none. And I moved from near Dartford, a lovely little town called... Oh, I know it very well. And it's gone to pot. Are you telling me where you're talking about has gone to pot? My God. That's proper village green and all that down there, isn't it? Wow. Wow. Thanks for that, Chrissy. Much appreciated. That's shocking. That was one of those towns that when my mum done a lot of work down in. I won't dox you because I know you didn't want that doxing. But when she used to do a lot of work down Hartley and places. My mum grew up in the White Swan pub, which is down that way. And so we'd often have to drive through that kind. I think we were going there, New Ash Green and all that area, and that was just beautiful. Pub, like village green, cricket on the village green, and beautiful old houses. And even as a kid, I didn't know why I loved it, because it was part of me, and I am part of it. Stay optimistic, people. Pessimism is part of how they demoralize you. Demoralization has won more wars than bullets put together. Read a book by Paul Virilio called War and Cinema. He talks about an amazing moment where the bombers that were going up into the sky were carrying more camera equipment on them than they were weapons, because they realized that coming back home with footage of enemy targets being blown out of the sky and electrics, what would you call them, electronics, you know what I mean, electric stations being blown up and tactical targets being blown up had more effect than actually just shooting things. And it got to the point where they were taking more camera equipment up into the sky than they were actual bullets and bombs. It's quite an interesting book, actually. Paul Virilio, War and Cinema. Also interesting if you like cinema, because it follows the sort of synchronicity in the Second World War of the development of moving photography and moving photography and moving weapons. It really is quite a special book. Paul Virilio, War and Cinema, another bloody Marxist, published by Verso. Verso means left margin justified. So, you know, stay the fuck away, but great book. What are you going to do? Thank you for joining me tonight, people. It's been an absolute pleasure. I will try and get enough sleep to do a little stream in the morning, and I will see your cheeky little grins. Ah, bollocks, have I done that right again? I will see your cheeky little grins at the crack of dawn. Well, not that dawn. See you later. Ta-da. Wow. Wow. Well, what have we got going on here then? We would appear to have some kind of malfunction. I wonder what there you go. That malfunction, by the way, was me not turning my volume up or earlier. So I am putting my hands up to it. Good Lord, can I just go to sleep? See you all tomorrow. Oh, listen, they're coming at us from all angles. Share the videos, ping an email to a mate, say, "Oi, what do you make of this?" That sort of thing. If we're going to survive in this environment. Oh, by the way, I got my Odyssey account today, so they're now uploading all my YouTube videos, and once they start streaming, oh yes, we'll be over there. Where did that little thing come in? Mrs. Me in it. Mrs. Me in it just said this. Coming to a place near you. Be worried. Nighty night. Forever the Pesiopus. Yeah. No. You've got it all around your head, and you're not a pessimist either. You might like to think you are, but you're actually full of life and hunger for victory. I know you well enough to know that. I don't know where this pessimism comes from. I imagine it protects you from something from childhood. Anyway, people, let's try this again. I will see you in das Morgen.
All the world loves a lover. All the girls in every land are meant to know. The joy of loving is to live in the world of man. There's someone who's waiting for you. Soon the world will be yours for a time. Music starts to play, night will turn to day. Darkness disappears when the one you love is near. You're in man comes. All the world loves the lovers, all the girls in every land are meant to know. Joy of loving is to live in the world of mankind. There's a place that is waiting for you, a world where the best in life is free, where time is always spring, happiness is king. The dreams you dream come true when the one you love loves you. You're in mankind. All the world loves a lover, all the girls in every land are meant to know. Joy of loving is to live in the world of mankind.
Go on, go and play down your own end. I'll see you.